Hey everybody, it's Galmadex, and welcome back to some more Brawl. Today I've got a Tezzeret Master of the Bridge deck. This is a really fun deck. It's heavily built around artifacts, and artifacts are one of my favorite things to build a synergistic deck around. I just really like artifacts, robots, and mechanical stuff and all that. And Tezzeret does really exciting things if you have a large amount of artifacts on the board. So first of all, his static ability makes all of your creatures and planeswalkers have affinity for artifacts, which means that they cost one less to cast for each artifact you have on the battlefield. That is incredible in a deck that is stacked with artifacts like this if you build around it well, because it will allow you to cast stuff like Liliana Dreadhorde General for literally just 2 black mana in the late game. Stuff like Agent of Treachery will only cost 2 blue, Workshop Elders will cost 1, Meteor Golem could potentially cost 0. It's just really good if you stack out a lot of artifacts out there. And the same goes for the +2. Deals X to each opponent, where X is the number of artifacts you control, and you gain X life. Another ability that is astronomically powerful if you have a lot of artifacts on the board. So the way this deck is built is really just around kind of trying to curve out with, like, 4 or 5 artifacts on board by the time that you cast Tezzeret, so that he's an incredibly impactful card, and even just using his plus ability multiple times will kill your opponent really quickly. You don't even have to think about hitting the ultimate, ideally. But if you do hit the ultimate, it is pretty fun as well. Exile the top 10 cards of your library, put all the artifacts from among them onto the battlefield, and the -3 is versatile if your opponent has killed any of your early artifacts, or if you've sacrificed Golden Egg or Guild Globe or anything like that, and you want to bring it back, he gives you the option to do that as well. So this is a pretty fun deck, kind of a combo-y type deck, because we're really all about dumping out as many artifacts on board and just winning by casting Tezzeret. So that is the main thing about this deck that isn't fantastic, because it does rely pretty heavily on the commander, but even if our opponent does consistently counter him to where he costs way too much mana for us to cast again, then we're just a basic artifact-style synergy deck with a few bombs to hopefully find a way to win without him, like Liliana and Ugin and stuff like that. So, with that all out of the way, let's get into some gameplay here. I'm going to go ahead and play probably 3 games today, and hopefully grab a few wins within those. We'll see how we do here. Now, this is also a deck that is incredibly fun to build around in Friendly Brawl, because Friendly Brawl does allow you to use historic cards. So all of the great artifacts from Dominaria and Ixalan block are accessible in Friendly Brawl, which gives you access to Mox Amber, which is incredible for this deck. Damping Sphere is pretty cool. I guess it's not it's not actually that insane against most decks. It's just good at stopping degenerate decks. But the Immortal Sun is fantastic. It shuts down your opponent's Planeswalker commanders. Just a lot of random artifacts like that from that era that are quite fun to play around with Tezzeret as well. So we are against a mono-red Torbran deck. He's a pretty popular commander here. Anybody going red deck wins tends to be just playing Torbran. This is going to be a really nice turn here, because I'm going to be able to cast my Wishclaw Talisman, which will allow me to cast Emry for 1 blue mana, and hopefully mill something for me to recast. If I don't, I can just cast that Guild Globe, and we hit multiple options. So now Emry will allow us to cast a Steel Overseer or a Midnight Clock. Prophet of the Peak, we're not going to be able to cast for a while, but these two are definitely options. Runaway Steamkin for our opponents, and a Shock on our Emry is going to stop any kind of graveyard recursion shenanigans from us here. Alright. Don't think I'm going to use Wishclaw Talisman here. I think I'm just going to Scalding Cauldron. Might even just use it on their Steamkin. I'm going to go ahead and Fabled Passage here. Grab a swamp for our Castle Lochthwain, and because we've got that Bolas Citadel, we'd like to cast potentially in the future. Go ahead and kill the Steamkin here before they untap and have the ability to potentially get it out of range. Mizzium take from our opponent. Really interesting choice from our opponent. That makes me think they must have some kind of 1-mana burn spell, but they already cast their Shock. So, like, I don't know why you wouldn't just cast Torburn there, because that'd be 3 damage off that Spear from then on. They must be planning on a large attack with that Mizzium take this turn. Unfortunately, we are still 1 mana off from Tezzeret. It's gonna be a bit of a problem. Guess I'll go ahead and do my Wishclaw Talisman combo, which is to activate Wishclaw Talisman to pick up a Karn, which makes it so our opponent does not get to use the Wishclaw Talisman themselves if we're worried about them grabbing something that will kill us. And since they're playing a mono red deck, I certainly am worried about them grabbing something that could kill us. So I'm going to save this Guild Globe as a potential chump blocker if need be. But yeah, I don't really want to give them an activation out of that Wishclaw Talisman, because I'm terrified of the kind of stuff you could grab to go with a Torburn. So Karn's static ability is going to put a stop to that. And doing that gave us something to actually play last turn, rather than just playing a land. Alright. Can play Tezzeret now. He doesn't help a whole lot, though. He does let me return an artifact from my grave to my hand, but I won't be able to immediately recast it. I can play Bolas' Citadel as a 6/6. They don't have any cards in hand. I guess that's actually more helpful right now, is to just play Bolas' Citadel. Oh wow, we could take 6 to put Ugin out? Is that worth it? That feels so close to worth it. Just start making 2/2s. Oh, this is going to be painful, but I think that's worth it. Oh my god, a Mystic Forge too? Well, I'm not going to pay any more life because I'm worried. I am worried. But I'm going to go ahead and make our Bolas Citadel a 6/6, so we've got some blockers, and that's the important thing. And Bolas' Citadel is going to be fantastic once we get Tezzeret out, because Tezzeret's going to start giving us the life to fuel that thing if we get enough artifacts out. Unfortunately, Opportunistic Dragon is a hell of a draw against our deck. That is absolutely brutal there. Looks like they really want to kill Ugin here. We will block that Crater Maker. So Ugin will survive this, which is very good. Oh wait, no. No, he won't. Why did they even attack Ugin then? I totally forgot about that ability too, so maybe they just forgot, but I don't understand the attack. They were just gonna sack and kill it anyway. Alright. I think I'm gonna Mystic Forge here, because Tezzeret's only going to gain us 1 life right now because that Guild Globe, so we want to get more artifacts out, and Mystic Forge will definitely help us do that. So now we've got 3 thanks to Mystic Forge. Can turn it into a 4/4 blocker as well, or I could just turn my Guild Globe into a 2/2 blocker. I think I like Guild Globe as a 2/2 blocker a little better, so I can block the Banneret with that. Because I don't want my Mystic Forge to die, but Guild Globe dying is not the end of the world. Guess I'll pay the life, see if our next card is an artifact here. I totally forgot you could even do that. Workshop Elders. That will supply us with some blockers right there. There is Torbran. Things are about to get really painful. So Spear, I believe. Yeah, that does 3 to us now. Opportunistic Dragon going for Karn, gonna do 6. Put Karn to 2. Goblin Banneret headed that way as well, and Cavalcade will do 3 damage per hit on Karn. So they will stop us from making any more blockers off of Karn's ability here. I'm going to keep the Guild Globe for more artifacts to gain more life off of Tezzeret, and for another artifact to turn into a 4/4 off of our Workshop Elders. And Karn dies, but he would have died either way we blocked, because they can pump that dude that we traded for. Alright. My turn. Gingerbrute is actually a good thing to have on top here. So we've got 6 mana to cast Tezzeret. And then all of our creatures and planeswalkers cost 3 less. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towards Workshop. Unfortunately, we can't cast both. So I guess I only need 6 mana for Tezzeret. So let's just start with a Gingerbrute. Wow, Liliana. That's gonna be fantastic, especially if we can cast it for cheaper with Tezzeret. Basically just need to survive this turn. I don't actually know what helps me survive more. It's probably Workshop Elders. Unfortunately, we're not at a great life total, but this makes sure we can block all this stuff. Our mana is pretty good right now, so I'm just going to turn Guild Globe into a 4/4. Scrabbling Claws could potentially draw us a card later if we ever don't need another artifact on the field. We'll see what they top decked here. Scorch Spitter. Which is actually pretty impressive with Torbran out, and more importantly, it gives them another creature to survive Liliana's -4. So they'll probably sack Scorch Spitter and Spear, I guess? I don't know, they might sack Torbran because they can just recast Torbran next turn. So they might sacrifice Scorch Spitter and Torbran. I don't know. Either way, we get to get 2 of their creatures off of Liliana's minus. Just sending in Mizium Tank. We might not even be minusing with Liliana then? Because if that's the case, we could just make another 2/2 and just keep using the 4/4 flyers off of Workshop Elders to block the flyer, and then we're kind of safe. I do really need to start gaining life here, though. I can actually cast Tezzeret and Liliana, though, thanks to Tezzeret's static ability, so we're just going to do that.
Tell me you're not impressed.
Hopefully this is gonna be enough.
I do hope you make this battle exciting for me. Oh, good, mindless minion.
Hopefully this is gonna be enough for us to stabilize here, and then allow us to just slowly kill them with Tezzeret's +2. Alright, so here comes the Wishclaw Talisman usage. That might mean that we're dead, like, right now. That was the most unfortunate part of them killing our card, but that was so long ago, I kind of forgot they can actually use the Wishclaw Talisman now. So, I mean, we're at 9 life. It's pretty likely they have something in their deck that can just kill us with a Torbern on the field. With a Torbern on the field plus 3 damage from Scorch Spitter, plus 3 more from Cavalcade, yeah, we're taking 6 off of them just attacking with Scorch Spitter, unfortunately. Tybalt, we can't... Wow! I'm surprised we're not dead right now. But that makes it pretty likely that we die next turn. Like, very likely we die next turn, but it gives us one last chance to potentially try to combo them out in some way. Ooh, especially if they just attack Tezzeret. Yeah, they don't have any way to add to that damage, so that's just a 3-1 basically. So I guess we block. Claws should survive. Alright, I will take that. We can literally just kill Tybalt by attacking him with 3 dudes as well, and then gain life that way. Yeah? And then since we're going to gain life, I guess I'm going to tap the Mystic Forge. Untap it with Corridor Monitor. And then turn it into a 4/4 flyer. Actually, there's actually a little bit of an issue though. If I do that, no, I still have Corridor Monitor to chump block Opportunistic Dragon. So I can kill Tybalt here. Alright. And I have Gingerbrute to save back as well. So that confirms Tybalt dies. And I've still got the 2 mana to gain life off Gingerbrute, and I totally forgot about Wishclaw Talisman. I should actually... Actually, I'll give this to my opponent if I use the ability, so it's the same number of artifacts either way I do this. I actually probably could have found a card to kill them that turn, if I were smart about it, because I do have some really big cards. Like, there's a card that'll make all of your artifacts a copy of another one till end of turn. That one right there. Maybe I could have done something crazy with that, but I'm just going to grab something that keeps me really safe here. Where is my guy? Oh, Meteor Golem? That's pretty good. I'm thinking the Stone Coil Serpent, though. There we go. Just a really big blocker here. We're going to pay all but 2 of our mana, because I want to save Gingerbrute mana. I'm actually going to cast Chromatic Lantern now that that's on top instead, though. Alright, so all but 2 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want it to be bigger than 6, though. I'm just going to spend everything. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2... Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artifacts. So it's 5 no matter what. So it's going to be 7 if I save 2 mana up. Sorry, I'm just trying to count the number... The amount of mana it gets reduced by thanks to the number of artifacts I have. I actually could have done 8. See, even then, even after all that, I counted wrong. It's alright though, we got there. Very, very surprised I didn't just die that turn. But I will absolutely take it. That was terrifying. I think I probably should have lost that game. But our opponent felt a little more murderous, wanted to just rip our planeswalkers to shreds instead of our face. Alright. Excuse me, sorry, I'm getting still a little sick. Having some nostril nose issues right now. The nose is running. I can't breathe. It's like one of those moments where you really have to sneeze, but you can't, and your eyes start watering. It's that kind of stuff. Anyways, we're playing against a Johnny the Great-Hearted. Pretty good commander. But our hand is an incredible start. So, hopefully that'll just take us there. Prismite's not very exciting, and I'm just going to cast Emry on turn 2 anyway. So I'll just put the Fabled Passage on top. So we can hit our 4th land here. Because we are going to need to hit lands until we can cast Tezzeret. We do have 1 mana ramp card. We've got Midnight Clock. Alright! 1 mana, 1/1 Stonecoil Serpent, get in there. So this is probably like a green-white proliferate kind of deck with a lot of green-white planeswalkers and creatures that come into play with counters, is my guess for the strategy that they've gone for here. So let's cast our Emry, see if we can mill something useful. We did mill a Golden Egg and a Manifold Key, so we've got options of stuff to cast from our grave, which is nice. Probably just going to cast Golden Egg. Manifold Key has a couple neat things you can do with it. We actually do have something to do with it. We've got a Mystic Forge that's, that has a tap ability that we would want to use twice in one turn if our top cards are just lands. So we have a use for the Manifold Key, which is pretty cool. Which actually means that maybe just Midnight Clock, tap it for a Manifold Key is the play this turn. And that is what I'm going to do. Alright. Midnight Clock is starting to chime. At the 12th hour, we will be able to shuffle our entire hand and graveyard back into our library and draw a fresh 7 cards. So the clock goes once per upkeep. It goes on everybody's upkeep, though. So basically 6 of our turns. A Johnny's Pridemate. Definitely the scariest card they've played so far. Plenty of stuff that can make that massive very quickly, and a Johnny's +1 is one of those things that will give that a counter every single turn, while plussing up a Johnny. So if I dump all my mana into Mystic Forge, unfortunately I won't be able to cast anything else unless I just have a 1 mana artifact on top. So I kind of maybe want to do just Steel Overseer and the Key. Seems fine to me. I'm going to go ahead and rip another land out of this deck, so we're less likely to draw them. And go ahead and drop down Steel Overseer, and drop out a Golden Egg. I think I might have misspoke and called it the Golden Key, or something. But yeah, we're just going to roll with that, and next turn we get to drop a Tezzeret out with 5 artifacts on the field. That is going to be 5 life a turn. Quite the drain. Quite the life drain. And now we have another card to combo with our Manifold Key. We get to use Steel Overseer's ability twice a turn if we want to. We don't have very many artifact creatures out right now, or in the deck, but he's still a fun card. Unfortunately, Nine of Autumn is very likely going to just destroy something. Destroy the Steel Overseer. Fair enough. I probably would have destroyed Midnight Clock, but that's me knowing how this deck is built. They don't know for sure how many artifact creatures and stuff we have in this deck, but it's not really that many. Steel Overseer is incredibly fantastic in here. Unfortunately, he's starting to take a big amount of damage here. I mean, we're at 18. We're totally fine. What am I talking about? However, Tezzeret probably won't be. So if I play Tezzeret out, Tezzeret will be at 7 loyalty, because I'm definitely going to +2. But 7 loyalty. He'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He could potentially take 8. And he likely will. Because I don't really have anything to block with. I suppose I do get to cast one thing out of my grave from Emry. I'm just going to do it. I will get to cast something from the grave here, thanks to Affinity. Looks like it's just Steel Overseer. But yeah, Steel Overseer has Affinity for artifacts thanks to Tezzeret. So now I do have a single blocker, so I could chump block to keep Tezzeret around if they don't do anything special.
This should strike fear into you.
So if they don't do anything special, we chump block the Knight of Autumn and trade with it. Tezzeret takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exactly. It's more likely we'll have to chump block a Johnny's Pridemate. If they -2 a Johnny, Tezzeret's definitely dead.
With me.
Alright, that works. We do have the mana to recast him in 2 turns from now. Not quite next turn, but pretty quickly here. That one's attacking our face. But these are all attacking him. So if I block a 3/3 takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's no way to block and keep him around here. Put him back to the command zone. Alright, ooh, Masterful Replication. Have all of our artifacts become a copy of another one till end of turn. So if we draw into a decently sized artifact here, we could do something crazy in the future. Unfortunately, that's not right now. We actually don't have anything that's that crazy to copy. Go ahead and start off with a Mystic Forge. Karn, the Great Creator. Not technically an artifact, unfortunately. Might actually just exile Karn, because I don't even want to draw him next turn, I don't think. So we'll go ahead and exile him. And a land. Well, I don't want to draw that either. So, let's exile that one. And then a Dimir Locket. Alright, well, Dimir Locket does ensure that we can cast Tezzeret again. I am just worried, though, that they get to put a +1/+1 counter on all their creatures every turn here. So they're very quickly going to overwhelm us. Creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. Okay. So no trigger off Crawl Harpooner, but I didn't have any flyers anyway. Would have been super sick if they cast the Hushbringer earlier and then like top decked the Knight of Autumn, and didn't get to destroy one of our artifacts. That would have been a sick combo in our favor. Alright. We're super dead. So, if I just saved the Manifold Key, I could potentially make my Corridor Monitor and my Steel Overseer have 3 power here, so we'd at least get to trade with 2 of these creatures. We'd trade with one and kill another, but we'd still be very close to dead here. So I think it was probably fine that I was just really reaching for an out. Prophet of the Peak. Prophet of the Peak would have been pretty big if their entire field didn't have Vigilance, thanks to a Johnny's Static there. So they've still got plenty of blockers, even if we made all of these 5/5s till end of turn. That would usually be something that could come out of nowhere and win the game, but here it's not going to be. Well, cast the Prophet anyway. We've got a Chromatic Lantern on top that we don't have the mana for. So yeah, I just died to the flyers. I don't have any blockers for that, so that is going to be game. Alright. 1-1, lost one. Let's go ahead and do one final game here. See if we can at least get a positive record. 2 wins, 1 loss. Come on, Tezzeret. I believe in you. Alright. Oh no! We are against the Brawl pre-constructed artifact and enchantment themed deck. Now, their deck is probably not pre-constructed, but the commander is from the pre-constructed deck. So, theirs is going to be an artifact and enchantment deck that allows them to create a 1/1 flyer every time they cast an artifact or enchantment. So they're going to be a lot more of an aggressive deck than our deck, which is kind of trying to reach Tezzeret mana and then put a really fast clock on our opponent at that point. But until then, we're pretty slow. They get to drop their commander down on turn 4 and start going crazy the turn after, so definitely worried about that, especially with Arcane Signet. That's going to speed them up another turn. However, we've got Chromatic Lantern plus Mirrormade to copy Chromatic Lantern, so our mana's pretty fantastic with this hand. Mirrormade, one of the coolest cards in Eldraine for Commander and Brawl and all that stuff. Wishclaw Talisman. Huh. So they may give us the ability to search for a card here. Or maybe they're running the same combo, they're just going to grab a card and drop it down and be like, yeah, that's just a second copy of card. I have nothing to spark double, so we're just going to Mirrormade our Chromatic Lantern. Alright, we definitely have Tezzeret mana next turn. We actually... Oh my god, next turn's gonna be great! We have the mana to cast Tezzeret, because we have 6. And Tezzeret's gonna give affinity to artifacts, or affinity for artifacts to all of our creatures and planeswalkers, which means we can then cast Spark Double for 1. And a free Steel Overseer to boot! Alright, this is an exciting turn right here. This is the stuff I live for with this deck. Steel Overseer for free. Spark Double for 1 on Tezzeret. Deal with that one. A Layla deck.
My artifacts give them strength.
See if you can get past my double Tezzy.
More power.
And we got really close to the free Workshop Elders. Going out alongside all of that, that would have been beautiful. Alright.
Now I see your approach.
Now we got a Quarter Monitor and a Bolas' Citadel. I'm just going to drop down Bolas' Citadel, see if we can get the wheels turning here. There's another one. We'll play this land, play Folio of Fancies. We're just going to play enough to kill them in one turn here, I think. Scry these to the bottom, because they're not artifacts. Unfortunately, that is not an artifact either. You get to play Quarter Monitor. And we will choose the Signet, I guess? I don't think it matters. Drop a Workshop Elders for 1. Drain all we can with Tezzeret, and then maybe we activate Bolas' Citadel for lethal? Oh my god, we totally do. Well, that was cool. That was the combo-iest turn with this deck.
You have already lost.
4, 5. Wow! I didn't even know the deck could go that insane. I've done fun stuff with the deck before, but that was brutal. And our opponent really had the setup too. They were going to have an incredible turn after this turn. If they played any artifact or enchantment, it was going to come out with a 4/4 Vigilance Angel thanks to that Divine Visitation. So if they just, like, next turn played, like, Chromatic Lantern plus a 2-mana artifact, they'd have 2 4/4 Flying Vigilance Angels on, like, turn 6. So, yeah, opponent didn't even have a bad start. It was just really the combo hand there. That was insane. Well, thank you everybody for watching some more Brawl here on the channel. I will have more in the future. I'm going to try not to promise any kind of timelines and stuff, because that always falls flat in my face, but I will have more in the future. If you want to check me out when I'm playing live, I do play live on Twitch at least once a week. I believe every single Wednesday I will be live on Twitch around 3 p.m. Central for some Brawl. And I usually do like one other stream per week. Just random stuff, usually just daily quests and stuff like that. Either way, once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again for more videos sometime soon.